Good evening. I'm back. Okay. I know that I've been showing you all the seedlings every single day, but I'm getting ready to scale back on that. The only time I will show the seedlings is if I'm doing some transferring or if I have a whoop, 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 seed alert, seed alert. And so today is a seed alert. So you'll hear me make that noise. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. First of all, since we're here, cold crops are doing good, and I cannot wait to get those transferred. And let me tell you about today's weather, y'all. Y'all saw yesterday's weather because I got out there, and I'm glad I worked the way that I did because today it was gloomy, it was cold, and the heat's been running all day. It was a total about face with the weather. Look, it looks as if the lettuce is going to survive after all. It perked up. All it needed was a little of this light. And it perked up and it's growing. I got a new leaf coming. So there it is. So, yep, give the lettuce a hand. Because if I can get that outdoors alive, then I know it will be all right. Okay, so, whoop, whoop, whoop. Seed alert, seed alert. First of all, I have 2 new Cubanelles. And I hope I'm doing this camera right. I'm going to put it right on it. We got one coming up right here in the first one, although that seed looks like it could be dying, but maybe not. And then we have the Cubanelle there. Still no cherries. So I'm gonna keep an eye out if the cherry tomato not tomato, cherry pepper hasn't germinated in the next, I'm gonna give it 1 more week because all the other peppers have germinated, at least 1, if not more. Even the Jimmy Nardello, I only got 2 peppers, and this one looks, oh no, it's alive. Nope, that's alive. This one died. Or you know what? It's the seed. I'm going to get that seed off of there so it can survive. Okay, so I got 2 Jimmy Nardello peppers. So that might be enough. And if I can get 2 Cubanelles, I know that will be enough. I have a new Lesia coming up, so that makes 3. No, that makes 4. And so that's enough. Okay, so the new seed alert is the Aunt Molly's ground cherries made an appearance. I don't know if you can see those 2 teeny tiny ones. And I can tell you right now, the Aunt Molly's are smaller than the gooseberry and pineapple ground cherries. See how small they are? They don't get big at all. But these look like they're going to get big, a lot bigger. Okay, so I have the Aunt Molly's on the heat right now. And actually, I had this catty corner. Everything's still getting light, but I wanted the cherry peppers to be on that heat mat so that we can try to get some to germinate. So like I said, I'm going to give it another probably just week. If they haven't germinated in a week, if one hasn't come up, then I'm going to start over. I will definitely start over. I have some empty cells up here, and I'll be extra careful as to how I do the process. Okay, so, and as you can see, the peanuts are peanutting. Yep, my 4 plants are doing very well. And I believe I have a 5th plant about to appear. And I'm going to point with my pointer right here, right here. I hope the camera is on it. So I'm leaving it alone. Yeah, it is, because I see the green. Okay, I'm going to loosen that dirt a little bit so that light can get through and the heat. And it should be up in a few days. So that little bonus peanut, if I get that 6th one, I'm going to dance, okay? Alrighty, so that's it for the seeds for today. So let's make our pit stop. And then we'll go to the living room for a few minutes. And I'm definitely not going to be on that long today. I am worn out still. But anyway, here we go. The new thermostat. Okay? And it's a beauty. I'll tell you about it. And as you saw when I first walked up, it is a Linux. And let me tell you what happened. Okay? Let's go to the living room and I can tell you what happened. And this is the top of the line. So that's the good news. Because I know when I came on that that preview video, there's the old one. He told me just toss it. He said it's no good. He said they don't make them anymore. They don't even put them in the recycle bin. Okay. Let me get this set up. Y'all know me and my filming. Okay, I'm getting the tripod stood up. Let me get this garbage bag out the way. Okay. Oh, since I'm here, there is the Que-stead-Que bag. I hope you can see it over there. I finished it, and I decided to go with gray for the border and for, well, the handle is going to be gray because I always make my bottom and handle the exact same colors. You know what, y'all? I actually think it looks good. I'm just amazed. Once I got that handle on it, and I was like, I'm not going to use a popping color to do the trim. I'm going to just keep it gray, you know, just simple and neat. And I really like how that bag came out. Would you agree? But I like it. And I hope this camera is on it. Okay. I hope you can see it pretty good. Because if I go up close to it, then, you know, it won't show the whole bag. So hopefully you can see that bag. All right. And if not, we'll do an extra video so that you can see it. Because y'all been on this thermostat journey as well as the Que-stead-Que bag journey. So y'all need to know the outcomes of both. Okay, so let's turn this camera around, stand it up. And me getting to frame. Okay, y'all. Hi. Alrighty. I was adjusting. Okay, so let me tell you the story. Good news and bad news. That's why that preview said the saga continues. It was a saga. First of all, this morning, I received a call, and they told me that the Randazzo man would be here, you know, between 12 and 3, which I already knew. Plus, he sent the text that had his GPS letting me know his location, so I knew exactly, you know, when he got close and all that. Okay, so what happened was he got here, and so the work order was for, of course, the cheaper Scentsy thermostat, which was $249, I believe. And the other order was for the humidifier. Well, as it turns out, the late Mr. and Mrs. Granberry chose to opt out of getting, it's a special attachment that goes to the furnace because, you know, these Lennox furnaces are complicated. And remind me to tell you about my furnace because he was able to tell me everything about it after I get through with the story. Well, they had an option for, I guess, a few hundred more. They could have gotten this special attachment that would have allowed for a humidifier to be attached to the furnace. Plus, they would have installed this special line which would have connected to the wiring because remember, this furnace is computerized. So to do all that, they would have paid the extra money at that time. That would have been done. And then if they would have opted to get a humidifier later, the wiring would have been there. But because they didn't opt to do that, then the attachments aren't there, so I could not get the humidifier. So that's the sad news. Aww. But the good news, I guess, with the humidifier is I can always continue using my tabletop, or I can try to go and find either a second humidifier tabletop or a much better humidifier. Like I think they still sell those floor humidifiers. I think Best Buy carry them. So I'm going to do some research, and that's the way I will do the humidity. In fact, I think Best Buy carries one, and it costs almost as much as the one you put on the furnace, but it's actually a combination. It's an air purifier as well as a humidifier. So it does both functions. So, you know, I don't think I'm going to invest that much not for a floor one that I'm, you know, plugging in. I would have rather paid that type of money for one that goes into, you know, that hooks up to the furnace. So that was the sad news. And that's what continued the saga, because here I was thinking I was about to get a humidifier and I ended up not getting it. But here's the good news. So I guess this story ended up being better. The good news outweighs the bad. Okay, so because of that, he had to call the company to explain that he wasn't going to be able to hook up the humidifier. And so remember, I got financed, and the actually the minimum amount for getting financed is $1,000. But they made an exception on yesterday because I was so close at 749, because I would have been at 1,000 had that humidifier. Remember, that humidifier was on promotion for $200 off. So had I gotten the humidifier at the regular price as well as the cheaper thermostat, then I would have been right at that $1,000 mark. And so they realized that. So when they did the financing, they gave me they gave me grace, I guess. So my order was going to be $749. That was going to be the total. Okay, so what happened was, since I was at 250, that means no financing. And of course, I didn't have the money. So I was like shaking in my boots. Okay. I was like, oh no. So now I'm not going to get anything because they're not going to finance me for $250. So when you saw the film and he was out at the truck, he was actually out there calling them to explain my dilemma. He had to call his boss to explain my dilemma. And then he said he would come back and let me know what his boss says. So I was totally expecting him to leave and abort the job altogether because I didn't have $250, in my pocket to just give him. So he came in, he was like, my boss understood and he decided he wants to cut you a deal. He said the high priced humidifier, he said you can still get finance for that. He said, if you want to get that, he's willing to offer it to you for not only $200 off, but with the full rebates. Because of the rebates, remember, the rebate from Randazzo was that I didn't have to pay for the installation, nor did I have to pay for that $95 visit fee. When they come to your home, it's automatically $95. And that's whether you're under warranty or not, unless they're offering some type of promotion. So because of the rebate, those two things were eliminated, and it's $150 an hour whenever they install. And believe me, it took him 3 hours to get this thermostat installed, because after you have to wait for it to charge, then we had to boot it up, then I had to get it connected to my Wi-Fi, and then he had to show me how to work it, which took forever because he and then neither one of us could see. We moved, taking off glasses and putting glasses back on. Then, what was that noise? Okay. My house just creaked. Okay, then, what was the other thing? It was one other thing. Oh, after it charged up, we had to boot it up. Then it was just a million things to go with it. Oh, then we had to program it. I had to name the thermostat. So guess what I named it? The Que-stead. Okay, so anyway, so we did all that. And, shoot, I done lost my train of thought now. Okay, we did all that. Oh, you know what? Let me back up. Let me get back to the original part of the story. Because, see, y'all can tell I'm tired. I got brain fog. This is part of the MS and all that, y'all. So please excuse me. Okay, so he offered the top of the line thermostat, the $849 thermostat. I was able to get it for, okay, I got the rebate. Oh, that's where I was. I was talking about the rebate part because of the $150 an hour. And it took 3.5 hours for the full, from the beginning to the end. So just think of that type of money. That would have been, let's see, that would have been $450 or $500 just from that alone. And there was no way around it because we had to wait for that thing to charge. He had to give me the tutorial. We had to get it registered with Linux. We had to get my password and all that stuff together, all that. Okay, so then I got the rebate through my electric company, which was an automatic $100 too. That was the second rebate that they had going on. So that's automatic. They don't just send you rebates in the mail anymore. At least my electric company doesn't. because Linux, I guess, had problems with that in the past. So now the whatever company is selling the furnace or whatever, they do the rebate immediately, and then they apply for the rebate from the electric company. So they'll get that $100 from my electric company on my behalf, but it'll be theirs to keep because they gave it to me immediately. They apply it right away. So that took another $100 off. So I ended up getting $300 off of the $800 furnace. So it ended up coming to $549. So they financed for that. Now, here's the kicker. It made me mad, but I was like, well, it is what it is. There's a $100 finance fee. But, oh well, I thought about it in the scheme of things. That's just giving up the rebate from the electric company, something I wasn't expecting to begin with. So, therefore, that takes care of that. So technically, it would have been only $549, but because of the $100 fee, it was $649. But like I said, I look at that rebate from DTE to cover that. So, it is fine with me. And I don't get the 18 months financing because of the low amount that it turned out to be, because it ended up not being 800, because it was 749 for the other one. So that qualified me for the 18-month financing. But because this was under the 700 still, and actually it was counted as 500 and 49. They didn't count that extra 100. That was just the finance fee. So basically my sale amount, my receipt and all that is going to say 549. So it did qualify me for financing, but at only 14 months. And I was kind of surprised about that because I thought they were going to say 12 months, for that low amount. So anyway, I told them, oh, it will be knocked out really, really fast because, my minimum is probably, I haven't added it up yet, but my minimum is probably going to be no more than about $20 or $30. So I'm going to be shooting them a lot more. I plan to have it paid off before a year, but my final goal is a year, in case something else comes up. Oh, I'm knocking this out real quick. And it was a blessing. It was a huge blessing to be able to get that top of the line. And like I said, I'm not crazy about what the Wi-Fi and the digital stuff and all that. I like plain and simple and easy to figure out. But once I learned it, oh, I'm very pleased with it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thermostat. It's nice and heavy. I saved a box. Oh, and I get a 10-year warranty. Not 5, but a 10-year warranty on this one. So it's covered for everything. So if anything happens with it between now and 2034, hey, it's covered, okay? So I'm happy about that. It'll probably last me the rest of my life. So then I asked him about the furnace. He has the same furnace that I have, the technician. So I asked him about it. I was like, I've only been here 3 years, and I said, the furnace has always worked and everything, but I don't really know much about it. I said, I know it's in the top of the line. I said, where does it fall? Does it fall at the top or the bottom? He said, it's actually the second best. He said, and the reason why you don't have the top of the line is because this house would not maintain it. The top of the line of that particular furnace is for industrial. So it would be something that they would have in, let's say, not a school or a business. And I'm scratching, y'all, because I have about 20 mosquito bites on both arms. And these are those big, giant mosquito bites. It wouldn't be something like for a school or a big, giant building, but it would serve well for, like, let's say a brick and mortar store, something like that. That's over the square footage of your largest house, but yet and still it's a small brick and mortar. Think of a nail shop or something like that. I guess y'all get the gist. So that one, the top one, would be too powerful for the house, for this house or probably any other house, but it would be perfect for a brick and mortar place, maybe a restaurant, something like that. Okay, so he says, so basically, if you eliminate that, because you didn't qualify for that top of the line one. He said, you have the top of the line for a household furnace. He said that he's had his for 10 years. He said he's never had a problem. Not a part has needed replacing, nothing. He said, just keep your maintenance up. So I'm going to have to pay for that. So, but he did it today and it didn't cost anything. So I'm not due for another year. So what the maintenance is they come, they do a tune-up, they inspect, they change all your filters for you and all that. So that would be the maintenance. And they do the inspection, run the computer, make sure there's nothing going out. And if anything needs fixing, they will fix it. And because it's still under warranty, I would have no charge for that. But, and I don't have to pay the $150 an hour. It's free. I would just have to pay that $95 service call. So basically, I think in the scheme of things, it's worth it because, I mean, when you think of the filters that have to be bought, the air conditioner, if something goes wrong and you need it to have it fixed or whatever, then that is worth it, So I told him, thank you for doing that today. He checked the air conditioner. He actually turned it on because he had to make sure that it was hooked up correctly to the thermostat and all that. I have the phone app, so I can run the furnace right from my phone. That part is wonderful because lots of times, I told you, I cut my furnace down at night, and lots of times I might forget. And as soon as that thing kicks on and I start hawking and carrying on, I have to get up in the middle of the night to cut it down. Not anymore. All I have to do is grab my phone and turn it down. I mean, that's convenient. So it's going to make me lazy and everything. And the same with the air. So anywhere, I can be anywhere in the world and control my thermostat. He said that's going to come in good. He said a lot of people like it because of the air, not necessarily the heat. He's like, but he said in the summertime when it's hot, he said, like, for instance, our electric from 3 to 7, that's peak hours, and that's when it goes real high. He said, you may be out after 3 o'clock, which happened last summer. That happened a few times. And so I ended up running into the peak time because I wasn't home in time to cut it off, or cut it down. Well, no, cut it off. That's what I usually do. And then I just let the house stay. I close up the house and it stays cool until 7 o'clock once we're off a peak. So anyway, now if that happens, if I'm somewhere and the air is running, 3 o'clock, boom, I can use my phone and cut it off at that time right from my phone, wherever I'm at, anywhere in the world. So I'm thankful for that. Okay, so I'm rambling again. So I'm working on my next project because, I got my Eclipse shirt. I would show it to you in my next video. I will. But I ordered the Kelly Green. Well, you know what? Let me go get it. I'll be right back. Okay. And I ordered a wild one because I like a lot of colors and things like that. I like for shirts and whatnot to stand out. So I ordered it in Kelly Green. I could have gotten blue, black.